Hello YouTube, I wanted to share with you installation of Hella 700FF. These are halogen auxiliary lights that I got myself to install on my truck. Why halogen? Price wise and quality, this was the best choice. Hella also offers you xenon lights and LED lights, but I went with halogen, which are cheaper. Now a quick unboxing here. Once you open the box, you're gonna get the two Hella lights with the stone shields. The bulbs are already pre-installed. You got the wiring and the relay. You got the brackets and installation instructions. Everything is pretty well packaged. The light itself is made of solid plastic. You're gonna see two wires, black and blue. The lights are made in India. The stone shields are included and they're in white, in plastic. Let's take it off. So when you're not using your lights, you want to cover them up to protect this nice, thick, solid glass. It feels really solid. And the bulb is included. It's an H3 12 volt 55 watts bulb. You can also install in H3 100 watts if you wish. These are the stone shields. Make sure you use them when your lights are not in use. The diameter of the light is 186 millimeters. This is the S7 Edge. Pretty big lights. There is also 500FF Hellas, which are smaller. Because the truck is big, I decided to go with the bigger lights. And again, you get the two lights, the two bulbs, the stone shields, you got the instructions in there, you got the brackets, you got the switch on and off, you got some connectors, you got the relay with the wiring. Everything is in there for you. To complete the installation, I got an extra wire. It's a 16-gauge wire. I got wire loom to protect it, heat shrink tubing, butt connectors for 16-gauge wire, ring terminals to connect to the battery posts, electrical tape, wire stripper, and a torch. There is two choices how you can turn on your Hellas. On the left, without the separate switch, you can connect your Hellas to your low beam or high beam or your fog lights. I will be using the separate switch that Hella provides in the kit, and it might look complicated, but it's not that bad at all. Let me explain where each wire goes. From your relay, you have a red wire. This red wire you have to connect directly to the positive on the battery. Make sure it's on the positive on the battery. It is protected by a fuse, which is a 15 amp fuse. Next wire is your black. The black wire goes directly to your Hella lights, to both of the lights. These are the lights, and you have the black wire. That's where it goes. The blue wire is your ground, connected to the negative on the battery or any ground on the car. From your Hellas, you have the blue wires, also run them to your negative or any ground on the car. The yellow wire will go to the switch. If you're not using the switch, you have to connect the yellow wire to your low beams or your high beam or your fog light. So it depends. If you want to turn your low beams and the Hellas, that's where you connect it. In my case, I'm using the separate switch. The yellow wire will go to the switch. Let me explain the switch. On the back you have three terminals, 1, 2, and 3. 1 is green, 2 yellow, 3 black. And let me explain further. you can see that number 3 is your ground, black, goes to your negative or ground on the car. 2 is yellow, and 1 you want to connect it to your positive on the battery, which is protected by a fuse rated at 2 amps. I hope this explains the wiring, and if you have any questions, comment or email me and I will try to help you out. Let's begin the installation of the lights on the truck. A 3/8 drill bit. I'm gonna drill a hole for the bracket. I'm installing the bracket in place. And I'm gonna speed up the installation here. The driver's side light is in place. And the passenger side bracket is also in place. Let me show you behind. It's held by a 17mm nut with a washer. I'm attaching the passenger side light to the bracket and then use the bolt with a 13mm nut and a washer to secure it. The lights will need to be adjusted at night on a dark road to make sure it's correct and not blinding, and that's the way it looks on the truck. Pretty nice in my opinion. To the wiring I had to use extra wire because of the length. I've used the wire loom to protect it extra, and I've used some zip ties to secure it to the existing wiring harness. It runs from the passenger to the driver's side over here, and I've secured it along the frame with some zip ties, and it runs nice and secure and protected in that wire loom into the footwell at the firewall. And that's where I've threaded it in through that rubber grommet. From the driver's side footwell I have removed already all the protective plastic. That's where the wire is gonna come out through that rubber grommet that you can see right now. And this is also where I got the positive on the right and the negative on the left to connect the wires to. The switch will go into one of the empty slots, and I've used one of the unused plugs to drill a hole in there. That's the hole, and I've inserted the switch in there. Took me some time to make a nice place. The switch is done. I've connected the wires to it, and I've threaded the wires behind the dash, and they run towards the footwell where the positive and the negative cables are going to be attached. All the negative wires that I've described earlier are connected to the negative battery post. And now I'm gonna connect the red and the green to the positive post on the battery. All the wires are hooked up. Now it's time to connect the relay. And let's test and see if it works. I'm gonna take off the protective shields from stones, and let me tell you that my windshield gets cracked pretty often, so I'm gonna be using those covers to protect my lights. Let's turn on, and it works. Excellent. They look pretty good, they're pretty big, they shine really well. It's not plastic, it's a thick glass. I really like them. All the bits and pieces are back in place on the truck, and it's really hard to keep it clean because just look at what we are walking through and driving through. So it's pretty hard to maintain a clean floor in a truck. I have adjusted the lights, and this is one of the nights on the highway. It's getting dark, and these are the lights on. I've adjusted them a little bit wider to shine on the shoulder for me to see wider. Same road, but now it's complete darkness. These are the low beams on the truck, and these are the helas. I really love them. They give me much more view on the road now. I've had no one complaining from the oncoming traffic, so they're not blinding at all. I'm really happy that I put these lights on. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and I see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.